Placing a suspect at the scene of a crime is an important element in criminal investigation. This can be achieved through the location of fibers similar to those from the victim's clothing or the crime scene on the clothing of the suspect, or through the discovery of fibers like those in the suspect's clothing at the crime scene. Fibers can be exchanged between two individuals, between an individual and an object, and between two objects. When fibers are matched with a specific source, such as fabric from the victim, the suspect, or the scene, a value is placed on that association. This value is dependent on many factors, including the type of fiber found, the color or variation of color in the fiber, the number of fibers found, the location of fibers at the crime scene or on the victim, and the number of different fibers at the crime scene or on the victim that match the clothing of the suspect. Let's take a closer look at the nature of fiber evidence. A fiber is the smallest unit of a textile material that has a length many times greater than its diameter. Fibers can occur naturally as plant and animal fibers, but they can also be man-made. A fiber can be spun with other fibers to form a yarn that can be woven or knitted to form a fabric. The type and length of fiber used, the type of spinning method, and the type of fabric construction all affect the transfer of fibers and the significance of fiber associations. This becomes very important when there is a possibility of fiber transfer between a suspect and a victim during the commission of a crime. Whenever a fiber found on the clothing of a victim matches the known fibers of a suspect's clothing, it can be a significant event. Matching dyed synthetic fibers or dyed natural fibers can be very meaningful, whereas the matching of common fibers, such as white cotton or blue denim cotton, would be less significant. In some situations, however, the presence of white cotton or blue denim cotton may still have some meaning in resolving the truth of an issue. The discovery of cross transfers and multiple fiber transfers between the suspect's clothing and the victim's clothing dramatically increases the likelihood that these two individuals had physical contact. When a fiber examiner matches a questioned fiber to a known item of clothing, there are only two possible explanations. Either the fiber actually originated from the item of clothing, or the fiber did not originate from the item of clothing. In order to say that the fiber originated from the item of clothing, the clothing either had to be the only fabric of its type ever produced, or still remaining on Earth, or the transfer of fibers was directly observed. Since neither of these situations is likely to occur or be known, fiber examiners will conclude that the fibers could have originated from the clothing, or that the fibers are consistent with originating from the clothing. The only way to say that a fiber did not originate from a particular item of clothing is to know the actual history of the garment, or to have actually observed the fiber transfer from another garment. Many different natural fibers originating from plants and animals are used in the production of fabric. Cotton fibers are the plant fibers most commonly used in textile materials, with the type of cotton, fiber length, and degree of twist contributing to the diversity of these fibers. Processing techniques and color applications also influence the value of cotton fiber identification. Other plant fibers used in the production of textile materials can include flax or linen, jute, and hemp. The identification of less common plant fibers at a crime scene or on the clothing of a suspect or victim would have increased significance. The animal fiber most frequently used in the production of textile materials is wool, and the most common wool fibers originate from sheep. The end use of sheep's wool often dictates the fineness or coarseness of woolen fibers. Finer woolen fiber are used in the production of clothing, whereas coarser fibers are found in carpet. Fiber diameter and degree of scale protrusion of the fibers are other important characteristics. Although sheep's wool is most common, woolen fibers from other animals may also be found. These include camel, alpaca, cashmere, mohair, and others. The identification of less common animal fibers at a crime scene or on the clothing of a suspect or victim would have increased significance. More than half of all fibers used in the production of textile materials are man-made. Some man-made fibers originate from natural materials such as cotton or wood. Others originate from synthetic materials. Polyester and nylon fibers are the most commonly encountered man-made fibers, followed by acrylics, rayons, and acetates. There are also many other less common man-made fibers. The amount of production of a particular man-made fiber and its end use influence the degree of rarity of a given fiber. The shape of a man-made fiber can determine the value placed on that fiber. The cross-section of a man-made fiber can be manufacturer-specific. Some cross-sections are more common than others, and some shapes may only be produced for a short period of time. Unusual cross-sections encountered through examination can add increased significance to a fiber association. Let's see if you can identify the types of fibers shown in the pictures. Do some research and try to identify the type of fiber in letters A through F. Then answer the 3 questions. Which samples are natural fibers? Which samples are synthetic fibers? And what characteristics can be used to identify fiber samples? Take a picture of your answers and upload them in Schoology.